So, we have got the Soul Rays in the studio. Before I have a little bit of a chat to them, I think we should play one of their tunes, and this is something called Lover Like Me.
You never had a lover like me before, no boy. Got you so hot, you're coming back for more. And I tell you something that you can't ignore, that when it comes to you, my baby, I want more than enough. Ow! Come on over to my place and we'll have a good time, just you and I. Promise you to be your woman if you'll be my sugar pie tonight. She said, don't forget my feelings are so strong. I got a lot of lemon and it's all for you. Don't make me wait too long. Holla, holla, I got a bit of dollar for a bottle. If you wanna bother, come talk to me. Oh, holla, holla, I got a lot of free time on my hands. If you wanna bother, come talk to me. You never had a lover like me before, no boy. You've never had a lover like me before, no boy. You've never had a lover like me before, no boy. And when it comes to you, my baby, I want more than enough. You can never have enough of a good thing, even if it's too hard to the touch. I know you want a lover you've been dreaming of, but well, I'm not too much. Don't wait, don't be late, can't wait till you are mine. So come a little nearer, I'm a waiting little shit, and I'm gonna take my time. I will be your woman if you will be my sugar pie. I will be your woman if you will be my sugar pie. Oh, holla, holla, I got a bit of dollar for a bottle. If you wanna bother, come talk to me. Oh, holla, holla, I got a lot of free time on my hands. If you wanna bother, come talk to me. You can never have enough of a good thing, even if it's too hard to the touch. You can never have enough of a good thing, even if it's too hot, baby, too hot, baby, too hot. You can never have enough of a good thing, even if it's too hot, too hard, too hot. You can never have enough of a good thing, even if it's too hot, too hot, too hot, too hot.
So there you go. That is music from the Soul Rays. That is a track called Lover Like Me. And sitting opposite me right now, I have got 3 members of the band. So would you just like to introduce yourselves?
Yeah, sure. I'm Phil. I'm drums for Soul Rays.
I'm Em. I play trumpet for Salt Rays.
I'm Harry. I play guitar for Soul Rays, electric guitar.
Okay, so that's 3 of you. Let's have the rest of the lineup of the band. Now, I said to you before, you sure you don't want to write this down? And you said no, so you're on the spot now, Phil.
Oh, I've got this committed to memory. So we've got our amazing singers. We've got Nina, Madalena and Fabia, who are our singers. We've got Luke, who plays our tenor sax. We've got Mary Lou, who plays baritone sax. And we have Ben Kenny, who plays trombone. And we've got Ben Parkins, who plays bass. And obviously we've got Emily and Harry as well on trumpet and guitar. Mm-hmm. That's all 10. I think definitely all 10.
I wasn't counting. But when the listen again goes up, I'm going to count it.
Okay, yeah, brilliant.
And we'll get you back if it's wrong.
Oh, well, don't believe me, the band will get me back if it's wrong.
You'd be getting eggs.
Yeah.
Right, so the Soul Rays, how would you describe your music?
Well, I suppose we are essentially at heart a funk band, but we've taken a lot of influence from hip hop, R&B, little bits of reggae. And obviously we do get a bit heavy at times as well. So it's kind of a mix of things, but generally you're talking about us being a funk band essentially. Mm-hmm. That's our main thing. Okay,
how long have you guys been together? You guys and gals?
Guys and gals, yeah. Our present sort of format is probably getting on for about 2 years now. We started out around 2.5 years ago with our original singer, but then we got the 3 girls in, and then since then we've just been sort of behind the scenes, gigging, doing recordings, writing things. So at present it's about 2 years. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, so what would you say are your musical influences? I suppose... In terms of our writing styles, yeah, James Brown's a big one for me, at least anyway. But we take influence from loads of different things. So, got James Brown, Sly and the Family Stone quite a lot, Parliament Funkadelic. To extent to even get to more modern things, say modern, he's talking like Destiny's Child, probably 10, 15 years old. But we take a lot of influence from here. I mean, I love Rick James. Mm-hmm. Rick James is one of my favourite artists. I think, his actual musical style, his lyrical content, his showmanship, everything about Rick James for me is just brilliant. And sometimes, when I sit and I'm writing and we come up with new songs, I do have this image of Rick James in mind. And if I can get anywhere close to that, then I'm happy. Mm-hmm. Well, you'd love some of my 12-inch singles that I've got at home, because as a DJ over the years, obviously I played lots of stuff like that, and you were just reeling off a few names there, and I could just sort of just go, yeah, have a listen to this one, have a listen to this one, have a listen, and you'd be going, whoa, but yeah, I mean, it's great. And it's funny how kind of funk is kind of making a bit of a resurgence. I mean, obviously you got Mark Ronson, who just about quoted every funk cliche in the book. Oh yeah. If you were to deconstruct that song, and it amounts to probably about 20 different tracks. Just lots of harking over it. Yeah,
there's at least a couple of Rick James Horner's lines in there somewhere.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
But it's good, and again, I've always said that you can't beat a band with a brass section. Oh yeah. No, it's just that bop 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 is absolutely fantastic. And it just adds just a total extra level. I mean, for a funk band, brass is essential. Obviously, it's absolutely essential. Just in the same way that you take a sort of funky sounding band, you elevate that with brass. Just the way that if you've got a sort of indie rock band, similar to the Verve, for example, or Elbow, for example, and you just elevate that with strings. But brass, for me, just works perfectly. I mean, especially with our sound and what we're doing, because brass can be so rhythmic as well as actually tonal as well. The kind of sounds you get out of it, and the way that the brass can play it with the different, I love a little funk triplet over a bar, just like da 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 da. It just gets me going. I know it is one of those things, and again, I mean, quite a lot of Liverpool bands over the years have used things like trumpets. I can think of half a dozen bands that do, and again, I have to say, I'm a sucker for anything like that, and a muted trumpet, heaven. But there we go.
Beautiful stuff.
And So, any bands out there, if you're planning on sending any tracks in, just dub a bit of trumpet on, and you've made it, you know?
Oh, yeah, if you get a bit of trumpet on, come and have a little word with us. I'm sure we'll be able to get a few gigs together. We love a good band with a good brass section. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, now, just quickly, I mean, obviously you can't speak for the rest of the band, but do any of you come from a musical family?
I don't really come from a musical family. However, my mum was born on this side in the Wirral, and she grew up and she was into all of the Motown, which then turned into the Northern Soul. So I was always surrounded by that type of music. As a matter of fact, she gave me a load of vinyls a couple of years ago. I was like, oh yeah, thanks mum. She stuck them in a box. I had a little look through them the other day, found one of the original pressings of Off the Wall by Michael Jackson.
Oh, yes,
So I
what
thought,
an
I'm
album
sitting on a bit of a gold mine there. But I was always surrounded by decent music from my mum's side of the family. My dad, on the other hand, listened to some absolute garbage. So that,
I hope he's not listening tonight.
I don't think he will be. Yeah, but he's some of the stuff they used to listen to with my dad was quite questionable. He was into his dad rock, probably even before he was a dad, to be fairly honest. And but my mum was always into Motown and Northern Soul, so always surrounded by that type of music. And my brother's a DJ as well. He actually lives out in Ibiza as a property manager, which means he just sits there in someone else's house making sure they don't rob it. And he plays with his decks all day, every day. So he's got it made. He's doing all right for himself.
Can you get me a job?
I'll have a word, actually, yeah.
I could do with spending a summer season in Ibiza.
It's not too bad, you know. I still haven't been over there myself. I'll have to go there, take the band.
Work on the tan a bit,
Yeah.
Okay. Now, guys, obviously with having such a large band, I'm presuming that you must put in a fair amount of practice to get that big sound and get those horns really tight.
Yeah, I mean, it takes a lot of practice, you know. We have to break it down into sections at times, otherwise you get members of the band who are like sat around doing nothing. I mean, sometimes the brass will turn up to a rehearsal and it'll end up being an impromptu vocal rehearsal. So those guys will be sat down on the couch just kind of waiting around, and they could end up being there for 3 hours, 4 hours without doing anything, and then have to spring into action for the final hour. So, you know, it does take a lot of practice. I mean, we've got regular practice days, you know, Wednesdays we're always in, Sundays are our sort of sectional days. We do put our practice in, but it pays off having that practice time, because it makes us obviously a tighter band, and it means that once we've actually got that tightness as a band, we can start working on the stage show and actually start thinking about other elements of the performance that we're actually putting in as well.
You're not sort of thinking along the lines of Earth, Wind and Fire and doing all the levitation and the magic and stuff, are you?
Not quite yet.
Oh, did you just give the game away?
Yeah.
Big Payback was going to be all about that.
Yeah, I mean, I've put a down payment on a crane, but I just can't afford the rest. That's the problem.
We've got a couple of scissor lifts in there.
No, exactly, yeah.
Yeah, and a trampoline or two, yeah.
We'll shy away from the mini Stonehenge and all that kind of stuff. Don't want to go down that route quite yet.
Okay.
That's what I had for the next gig.
Right, well, I mean, one of the reasons that you've come in tonight is to talk about your gig on Saturday, which is titled The Big Payback.
The Big Payback, yeah. Yeah, I am looking forward to this night. Me and Mary Lou, who she's our baritone sax player, we were sat round one night, sort of just chewing the fat, came up with this idea that we wanted to put our own event on. It's called The Big Payback, and the idea being that it's a free gig for people to come and watch some of what we think, anyway, are Liverpool or Merseyside's best funk bands. So we've got the Blowback Horns, 3-piece brass section, drummer, and they've got a rapper, and they've got a singer, Madalena, one of our singers, does a little bit with her. We've obviously got the Galactic Funk Militia. They are, you know, absolutely massive. They played the gig last week, and they had 17 people on stage. In fact, they didn't even have 17 people on stage. They had 10 people on stage, and there wasn't any space, so 7 of them had to stand in front of the stage because there's such a big thing going on. So we thought we wanted to put on this gig for the people of Liverpool, just you know, a free funk night. Come and see some of the best funk bands that Liverpool have got to offer, and it's our paying back to the fans, let them come in for free. And then what we're doing is if people come along and they've had a good night, throw a little couple of quid in a donation box just to show your appreciation if you're into that kind of thing. And then we're going to top the whole night off with a nice 1970s style Soul Train line. Right at midnight, bang on midnight, Soul Train line starts. 20 minutes of people just dancing their way down the Soul Train, and can win themselves a little prize at the end of it. So yeah, hopefully it's gonna. We've hopefully planned everything. We thought of of everything we can do, and hopefully it should be a really, really good night.
Okay, now that is at Studio 2 in Parr Street.
That's right, yeah.
What time does it kick off?
So the doors are going to be at 7, and then the first band's going to be on at 8. And there's only the 3 bands on. Usually at Studio 2, they put maybe like 4 or 5 bands on and give them maybe 20, 25-minute sets. We thought it best to give each band a nice full hour set, basically. So we've got 8 till 9, 9 till 10, 10 till 11, give or take some changeover times. And then onto the Soul Train line, so should be good.
Okay, and it also says that you have a DJ set from Bear Growls.
Bear Growls, yeah.
Now that's interesting.
Yeah. The good old Bear, he's been a busy boy over the last couple of months. He's he's our sax player as well, Luke. And he's been DJing at Candle Call, and he's did DJing for Lost Inhibitions. He does Tim Peake's Diner, so he does a lot of work with like Tim Burgess from the Charlatans. He puts on his DJ events and sound control in Manchester. So he's been putting himself about, getting a big name for himself, and he's going to be playing the music for the night.
Okay, is he going to be spinning the wheels of steel with vinyl?
I think he has done before now, but not. I don't know that he specifically does that.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be doing that for this, because he's going to be a busy boy that night, because he's going to be playing with us as well as DJing the Soul Train line, as well as DJing the rest of the night.
Okay,
so
we'll let him off.
Yeah, so he's going to be a busy boy. We'll be spinning the vinyls on his finger and doing all this kind of throwing the records behind his back and catching them and doing a full-on show. I think he's got CDJs, to be fair.
Okay, well, CDJs are fine. They do a good job.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And I tell you what, you can do a little bit of trickery with them. We've got a pair here actually.
Oh, okay, yeah.
We just haven't got the CDs at the moment.
Yeah.
So just nip out of the car and get a box of. Actually, there is a box of CDs over there, but
if he was here, he'd already be playing on them.
I'm sure he would. Okay, Harry, you're the guitarist. Here's a question for you. As a guitarist, how many guitars do you own?
I think I've got 6 in total. I've got 3 Les Pauls. I've got sort of 2 kind of Strat type guitars, although they're a bit sort of different to a traditional sort of Stratocaster. For those guys at home who are listening and like their guitars, the electric guitars, and I've got 1 acoustic and 1 bass. But the bass isn't even mine. I just robbed it off my brother while he was out of town one night. That was it.
And he's never asked for it back.
Oh, he's asked for it back. It's just that he's been working out of the country for a long time, so it's his hard luck. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. This will spare his memory now. I'll have to give out some for it now.
Exactly. I'm going to get a phone call any second.
It's one of those things, and I don't know what it is. Guitarists are like DJs and CDs. You just can't get enough CDs. Guitarists can't get enough guitars. Drummers generally have maybe 1, 2, 3 kits most, and obviously some ancillary percussion instruments, maybe a set of congas and stuff like that, but guitarists, they're terrible. You can't walk past a guitar shop without having to go in and drool and then has to have a play of a very expensive guitar.
The problem is that he works in Dawson's, so he's surrounded by guitars all day, so the temptation's always there.
Oh my goodness gracious me.
One of those occasions that you're talking about where I walked into a guitar shop, I ended up with a job.
Well, I suppose that's not bad. Is that to pay for the guitars that you took home that day?
I don't even get any money. They just give me a guitar at the end of the month.
Yeah, I can imagine that probably is how it works. Yeah. And again, Emily, you're a brass player, aren't you? So is it trumpet?
I've got 2 beginner ones I couldn't get rid of yet. Along with a cornet, flugel, and a soprano trombone. That was a terrible, terrible idea.
Yeah, but, they're all slightly different, whereas, he's got 6 guitars that have all got 6 strings on, apart from the bass has got 4. The only difference is, I suppose, the pickups and the shape of it and the sound that it gives.
Yeah.
But...
I could just do with the 1 probably. It's just pure greed.
Nah, he's a guitarist. He could not possibly do with 1 guitar.
No.
I know.
I'm pretty sure I know more guitars than I know guitarists, to be fairly honest. I think if I got all the guitarists I knew together and put the guitars, I wouldn't be able to move in our practice room.
Absolutely.
Couldn't find a room big enough.
No.
Right, let's have a quick chat about your songwriting now. Do you have a main songwriter in the band? Is that you, Phil?
Yeah, that's me. So, believe it or not, yeah, we're writing writing songs for 3 girls to sing, and it all comes from my lyrics and stuff like that, really. Because originally I put the band together and had to write basically whole bunch of material to produce to people to say, you know, I'm starting a band, I'm a drummer with no tuned instruments, but I've got ideas. Here are my ideas, and pass them all over and write them all down. We get some help from the girls, the singers. They come in and they work on the melody lines, and they will see some of my lyrics and they edit lines here and there. And we work together to write all the stuff together, but generally the writing happens sort of behind closed doors. I'll come to the practice, or I'll come to a writing session with a load of lyrics written down or a structure, and I'll go to Harry and Ben, and we'll basically put some chords behind them, put some structure behind them, present them to the rest of the band, and it just kind of builds from there, really.
Yeah, I'm guessing with a large band like that, it's going to be more of an organic process once the you've got the nucleus of the song together. Everybody will have a little bit of input into it, you know. Yeah,
I mean, you know, we've got our brass players who they know how to play brass better than I do, so you know they'll have much more. You know, they'll have a lot of better ideas than I will have for brass, and I'll come to them with a basic idea about what I want the brass to sound like. And then they'll go away and they'll build the chords between them. They'll put the parts together, and you know it's better than it being a bit of a dictatorship and saying you play this, and you play this, and I will have nothing else said, because you know I've been really, really lucky in the fact that I've been able to surround myself with really accomplished musicians who know their craft and they know how to craft songs together, and you know it's worked really, really well because they're all able to get their input in, and it just improves the songs. And you know, someone has an idea and then everyone else will run with it, and we're all working together to sort of build the songs together, which it's absolutely perfect. It's exactly what you want, really.
Yeah, and everybody injects a bit of their own personality from wherever they're coming at, you know. Yeah. Everybody has their way they play their instrument, and that sort of wears impact in the music, you know.
Mm-hmm. What do you use for your inspiration for your lyrics, though? Is it just, you know, events that things that have happened to you, or, you know, like a headline from a newspaper? Or?
Well, considering the most recent songs we've got is one about a man that's done the dirty on a woman. I can't tell you that a man's done the dirty on me before it's not happened.
Okay.
I'm not going to let it happen either.
Well, written from a third-party perspective.
Yeah, I mean, what I generally do is I'll come up with like a hook line idea, and then I try and build a character to write from the perspective of. Basically, I was saying this to someone else the other day about building a character to write from rather than writing from your own perspective, because sometimes your own perspective can be quite limited in terms of your own experiences, especially because I'm writing from a female's point of view. I have to sort of always create this female character to write from the perspective of, but obviously that female character, I can build their character however I want, and build their experiences however I want, and therefore I can just write about anything, essentially. And it's been quite liberating to write like that, because other bands that I've been in, I've been writing from a man's perspective, and you're quite limited from a man's perspective in terms of what you can actually write about. You know, you can't write about cheating women, as in like women who are cheaters, because then you end up sounding like a country and western band. Do you know what I mean? Whereas if you're writing about a man cheating on a woman, you can get away with that in sort of funky R&B type stuff.
Okay. Right, what's the biggest gig you guys have played? Have you played any of the festivals or anything like that?
Yeah, last year we played Candle Calling, a 25,000 capacity festival. Played in the Riot Jazz stage, and it was epic, wasn't it? It was
fantastic.
Yeah, actually. It was absolutely brilliant. We've had some really good support slots as well. The likes of the Apples, played with the Dub Pistols at the Speakeasy event in Liverpool, played loads of the Fiesta Bombarda events, and supported some really, really good acts. But for me, it's got to be Candle Calling, for the simple fact that I can now go around and tell people that we were booked alongside Snoop Dogg, because he played at that festival as well. Even though we played on different nights on different stages, it doesn't matter to me. I'll go around and tell everyone we played with Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, but you know what? If you'd have been on the same bill as Kanye West, would you be going around saying you were on the same bill as Kanye West?
Do you know what? I probably would, because if he was going around playing with acts that were bigger than him at the time when he was starting out, I'm pretty sure he'd be shouting about it as well. Maybe we're not as controversial as Kanye West, and maybe we don't talk as much rubbish as Kanye West, but you know, if we played with Kanye West, I'd definitely be shouting about it.
Okay, cool. What's your favourite venue in Liverpool? Very difficult these days because they're shutting them down by the minute.
It was the Casimir. The Casimir.
Had some of our best nights there by far and away.
I mean,
played some really good gigs.
Yeah, the Kaz is brilliant. Constellations is really good. At the right event, the Constellations is really, really good.
Yeah, we supported Gabrielle there.
Yeah, we supported Gabrielle there. The Constellations,
that was a great night,
was really good, yeah.
Right, okay. Just quickly, because time is moving on, how can people find out more about the Soul Rays? Have you got a website yet?
The best way to get in touch with us is going to be through social media. So things like Facebook at The Soul Rays, Twitter at The Soul Rays, Instagram at The Soul Rays, basically any social media platform at The Soul Rays. Be able to find us on there. I said, if anyone's listening now and wants to find out any more information, just, I sort of run the Facebook page. If anyone wants to send us a message or anything, I'm pretty much there straight away to reply. Find out all our gig information on Facebook. Find out about the next gig on Facebook and everything like that. So, any social media place at The Soul Rays, and you'll find us at the end.
That's fine. Now, obviously, you're in the middle of recording tracks as well. Have you got anything scheduled for release yet?
Yeah, start of May is what we're looking at to do in our EP. Mm-hmm. We're releasing a 2-track limited press at the Big Payback of the first 2 tracks. So, Live Like Me, which you've just played, and that's going to be on a download which people can buy, and there's the 2-track EP or preview of the EP. And in May we're going to have the actual EP release, and then I think in June, July we're looking to go back into the studio, record the next EP, and then before that's even out there we're going to be looking to put the album together. So it's really in fast forward stage at the moment. We're going to try and get everything we can. All our ideas and everything that we hear in the practice room needs to be able to be played.
Absolutely fantastic. Okay, let's have a quick recap then. You're here to talk about the Big Payback event, which is taking place at Studio 2 in Parr Street. That is on Saturday. That is the 5th of March. Now, it's absolutely free to get in.
Absolutely free.
I can't believe that, Anyway, it features the Soul Rays, the Galactic Funk Militia, the Blowback Horns, and a DJ set from Bear Growls. It starts at, doors are 7, did you say? Yeah. And the first band on 8?
All kick-offs at 8, yeah.
All kicks off at 8, and it is going to be one heck of a party.
Yeah, won't be one to miss.
Absolutely fantastic. Well, thank you very much, guys and gal, for coming in and talking to me.
Yeah, cheers, Chris.
We're going to finish with one of your other tracks. Is this going to be the other one that's on the pre-release CD?
This is possibly going to be on the pre-release CD. We are actually going to be printing them. Considering the gig is on Saturday, I think we're printing them on Thursday. So we've got 3 tracks in the running for it. Mm-hmm. This is going to be definitely on the EP, which is going to be released in May.
Right, okay. Yeah. So this is a track called Take a Break. Once again, thank you very much, guys.
Cheers.
Thanks, Chris.
3 is not nearly long enough. Upon evaluation, change has to come. I'd like to think I could set out by myself. The state, they won't give me any help to break away. Why do we do this for the dollar? Oh, 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 I need to break free from my collar. Get away. They say that money makes the world go round. I think it's time that we put the dollar down and take a break. And take a break. And take a break.
Right, so you go. That is a Soul Raise. That is a track called Take a Break, and you can catch them at Studio 2 Parr Street on Saturday. Right, we've got...
Ooh, boy, you can't catch me. I got it going on from my instrument.